Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And we'll be requesting Honorable Martha KARUA on behalf of our team to now deliver the statement. After that, we'll be available to take a few questions from your side. Thank you for your patience and understanding. Thank you.
This is a joint statement by the People's Loyal Coalition.
There's a problem.
Oh, you can't see me.
Can we get some staircase? You know, they normally would have something.
I'm vertically challenged.
Mother is vertically challenged. You know, it's possible.
Critical issues confronting the country as the socio-economic crisis worsen. The recruitment of the Kenya Kwanza regime that has clearly lost the trust and confidence of a majority of Kenyan people. So far, the shortlisting process has left out Kenyans with credible qualifications and experience based on our assessment over the 1,400 who applied for positions. And it happened the same way with those who applied for chairperson. Quite a number of those who made the list have questionable credentials, and some of them have partisan interests and are either members of the UDA party and the ODM party, or managing somebody within UDA. There are serious allegations of integrity and grave inherent conflict of interest. A number of the selected applicants are members of the executive structures of UDA and ODM and have in the last 3 years been beneficiaries of skilled public appointments by William RUTO and some by Ms. Odinga. We wish to point out the case of Joy Midivo. She has been the chairperson of the UDA Internal Dispute Resolution Committee. It is clear that Ms. MS Midivo is not eligible for consideration for appointment as IEBC Commissioner as stipulated in Article 88, 2A, Roman 2 of the Constitution. Given the clear position articulated in our supreme law of the land, why was MS Midivo shortlisted by the IB selection panel? This is a clear violation of our Constitution. More so, this is a great betrayal to young Kenyans who sacrificed their lives on June 25, 2024 in order to have a credible and independent commission, among other things. The cry of the Gen Z was transparency and accountability. Given the clear, Mr. Ruto's personal advocate is also set for an interview as a possible commissioner. We ask, how can a person bound by the principle of client confidentiality be expected to discharge his constitutional duty free of actual or perceived conflict of interest? Would he be non-partisan if he is recommended for the position? It is seemingly becoming plausible that the review of the original list was designed to accommodate the interests of the top members of government. Worse, there are growing concerns about the National Intelligence Service, which has recently been accused of abductions, torture of civilian disappearances, and other human rights crimes and illegalities. We challenge the IEBC selection panel to categorically explain how Ms. Medieval and Katwa Kigen were shortlisted, and the role, if any, of the NIS in the selection process. We also urge the panel, I want to add there, and anybody else who has conflict of interest, because there may be others whom we don't know and the public knows. We also urge the panel not to take part in any partisan actions that may pose an existential threat to the well-being of the people of Kenya by undermining electoral justice. And you know, electoral injustice has been a great problem in this country. The panel should only nominate persons who are beyond reproach and will carry out their functions in accordance with the Constitution of Kenya. We further demand that the principle of consultation and concurrence be implemented before the final appointment of the commissioners. Between Mr. RUTO and Mr. Odinga on one side, and the opposition, which reflects the country's current reality. In other words, what we are saying is this: let there be consultations on one hand with Kenya Kwanza and its allies, and it's obvious ODM is an ally of Kenya Kwanza, and the opposition, which clearly, because the opposition touted in NADCO report for concurrence was the opposition in parliament. In parliament, the second largest party after ODM, which has now gone to government, is Wiper Party, led by my brother Kalonzo Musyoka. There is also the DAPK party and Jubilee, the wing led by Uhuru Kenyatta, the other wing having gone to KK. So when we talk of consultation and concurrence, we expect RUTO to consult His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, who will then gather the others and sit down for concurrence. Any appointment of the chairperson or commissioners without reverting to the opposition is totally unacceptable, and we will take whatever action is available to us, legal and political. On the violent early elections campaigns by UDA and ODM, following their unholy union, Mr. RUTO launched an aggressive campaign in Nairobi, accompanied by UDA and ODM officials. The disruptive early campaign featured marauding gangs who went on robbing and mugging sprees against unsuspecting Kenyans going about their everyday life under police protection. We say so because police were in view when people were being mugged and did nothing. Mr. RUTO also illegally exploited public resources to mobilize the paid up masses. The phony display of support failed miserably, and the preposterous fake promises of creating and distributing millions of free chapatis to Kenyans did not quell the people's rage against this discredited and rogue leadership. It begs the question that many are asking across the country: how desperate and to what new laws will this rogue regime sink to? As the RUTO regime prepares to invade Mount Kenya, they are already there. We've been hearing them on the radio. A region with their misguided, Mount Kenya region with their misguided brand of politics, ya tutatenga tutaleta, and I heard him repeating the same words. We demand that common decency, basic courtesy and civility and decorum, terms that appear unfamiliar to RUTO and his ilk, that they should replace their vile and violent brand of politics which they recently introduced in Nairobi. We are cautioning him. Do not take thugs to the people of Mount Kenya and to any people in this great country of ours. Go to the people if you believe they have given you mandate and your mandate is still current, go to them without having to mobilize thugs, without having to bus people to go and clap for you in a place they don't belong to. Finally, we call on citizens of Mount Kenya region to remain peaceful and patient and not to be goaded by the bad, insightful and hateful behavior of this discredited regime. We also have an issue with the Nairobi County government, which has recently declared Nairobi River Corridor with its demographic implications. We express our strong reservations on the declaration by the Nairobi City County on March 6, 2025, that proclaimed the Nairobi River Corridor as a special planning area, SPA. This will affect private properties to which people have titles. It will affect properties from Naivasha Road to Ruai, including along the tributaries of Nairobi River. We remind the Nairobi City County government that conversion of private property into public land is a function of the National Land Commission, NLC. It is role of the National Land Commission through this illegal and unconstitutional declaration. In order to make a declaration like this, noting that via the Constitution, rivers and lakes belong to the national government, not to counties. Therefore, if there is an idea to create this corridor, it must originate from the national government with a cabinet memo, with the necessary policy documents, and most importantly, there must be public participation and parliamentary approval. We categorically say that this move will change the political and demographic arrangement of Nairobi and must not be taken lightly. The People's Loyal Coalition will defend the interests of the people of Nairobi legally and politically. We thank you.
Well done. Pole. Some water for mother.
So I think we can take some questions, a few questions you might have. I'll invite, yes, we can take three, then I'll invite His Excellency Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka to come and take this.
Well, I assume the question is directed at, if it's at mother, we can still go.
You can shoot, we can still.
She can still answer.
Sauti kidogo.
Sauti kidogo bana.
Ona mwezi sitisha labda kupitia oda ya koti, mnangoja mpaka siku labda chama itakuwa inakuwa. Huoni kama labda hiyo itakuwa na kuza muda, yet you have a time now to make this one stop the process.
I think the second one.
Yes.
What sort of action that the opposition intends to take upon the people that will be feeling as if I thought they will not be involved in the final approach? And also, do you believe that the selection panel will actually carry out an independent kind of appointment when it comes to the
I think I can deal with those and my colleagues can add. Kwanza kabisa, swala hili lina umuhimu mkubwa sana. Na sisi hatutakaa kitako tu na kungojea uamuzi wa pande moja kutoa list ya wale ambao watakuwa wameteuliwa kama wenyekiti ama mwenyekiti na pia wanachama wa tume ya IEBC. Kama alivyosema dada yangu Martha, tuko tayari kuchukua hatua yoyote ile ambayo tunaonelea ina umuhimu, na hatutakaa tu tungojee. Kwa hivyo kwanza, awamu ya kwanza ni kwamba walifanya ma-interview ya wale ambao walikuwa wanataka kuwa wenyekiti. Sasa wanaendelea na kuwa interview wale ambao ni commissioner, members wa tume yenyewe. Tunaangalia kabisa kwa kindani, hatulali. Na mimi mnakumbuka kwamba siku chache tu zilizopita niliandika barua nikamwandikia Mheshimiwa Raila na pia nikampa kopi Mheshimiwa William Ruto. Swala hili ni la sisi zote, haliwezi kuwa swala la upande moja, kwa sababu ukiwa ni upande moja basi Wakenya na dunia nzima itaelewa kwamba hii ni William Ruto Commission, na hiyo hatuwezi kuruhusu. So I hope I've answered your question. We will not just sit by, we are watching. We are watching, and it is good that, kwa mfano, tunatarajia kwamba the panel yenyewe inaweza ikasaidia Wakenya kusema fulani aliscore 80%, 70%, mambo kama haya. Uwazi ni lazima liwe swala la uwazi, ili Wakenya wajue kwamba wakijiandaa kwenda uchaguzi unaokuja, whenever that will be, watakuwa na imani kwamba hawa sio watu wa kununuliwa. Kumbukeni yaliyofanyika 2022 when my sister was a running mate ya Raila. Bado Wakenya wengi wana machungu yaliyoonekana wakati huo, ni lazima yakomeshwe. Kipindi hiki, safari hii, we are not leaving anything to chance.
We can take two more.
Yes, that's why
We are happy. Tawashukuruni, kama ni hayo tu. I think it's okay. Haraka ina muhimu sana. Haraka ni swala nyeti, my sister can add, lakini tuajiandaa. Nikwambia tuko tayari kungangana kwa vyovyote vile, politically, legally. Hatuwezi kuachilia hii bwana. Yeah, you can add.
Oh, please add.
Nafikiri umeuliza kwa Kiswahili, yule kwa Kimombo, but it's basically the same issue ya kwamba kwa nini tumengoja hadi sasa. Ukisikia statement yetu, tumesema pahala tumefikia sasa, lazima kuwe na pande mbili ambazo sasa zitaamua ni kina nani ambao sasa watakuwa wale chairman ama commissioners. Ile report ya NADCO ilikuwa clear ya kwamba mazungumzo hayo mpaka yawe kati ya upinzani na serikali. Kwa sasa Mheshimiwa Raila na chama chake cha ODM wameingia kwenye serikali, na yeye na Bwana Ruto wako kwa serikali ya broad based. Sisi ambao tumesalia kwa upinzani tumesimama na wananchi na Gen Z, na tumesema hatutaingia serikali ya Zakayo, hatuko kwenye broad based. Kwa hivyo haiwezekani pahala tumefikia Bwana Raila na Bwana Ruto wakutane kwenye ikulu wakiwa watu wa broad based wasemezane peke yao. Hiyo itakuwa kinyume na yale maafikiano yalikuwa kule Bomas ya NADCO. Na hayo hayakuwa tu mazungumzo, yaliweka kwenye sheria, yalipelekwa bungeni. Kwa hivyo tuambia Bwana Ruto na Bwana Raila, kama wao walio serikalini sasa broad based watawacha upinzani nje, hatutakubaliana na uteuzi wa mwenyekiti ajaye. Na tuna haki kwenda mahakamani sababu tuliweka ile ripoti kwenye sheria. Na ndio sababu kwa statement yetu tumesema masuala haya sasa tutashughulikia kisiasa na vile vile kisheria. Mawakili wetu wako tayari, wakili wetu Ndego Njiro wako hapa na wengine kuelekea mahakamani. Mheshimiwa Kalonzo kama aliyekuwa mwenyekiti wa NADCO ashamwandikia Mheshimiwa Raila barua kumkumbusha. Haya ndio maelewano tulikuwa nayo Bomas. wewe umeingia serikalini, na usituambie ati hauko ndani ya serikali. Watu walikuwa wanasema Mheshimiwa Kalonzo ndio watermelon, yani nje yako green, ndani yako red. Bwana Raila hawezi sema yeye ako kwa upinzani na anasema ako kwa serikali. Sasa Raila ndiye amekuwa watermelon kabisa. Na tumwambie haiwezekani uwe serikalini na uwe kwenye upinzani. It's as simple as that. And if there will be a violation of the principle of consultation and concurrence, which was established in a legal process called NATCO, then we'll be ready to handle the matter both politically and legally. Thank you.
I just wanted to add, there is a question he said, bona tunangojea. Hapana, hatukai kitako. Iko kazi inaendelea na utakuja kuiona.
Thank you. Asante.
Yes.
Do you have faith in the selection panel to make an independent decision?
I think you have
Let
that.
us see it first.
You have to.
Well, for now, whether or not we have faith is actually overtaken by events. That's why we are watching. You see, the process that we went through, for example, to get included only one name of Ambassador Kokimoli, the kind of mud we were dragged through. And we said we cannot afford to wait. Let us see the product they come up with. And you know, the principle of consultation and concurrence will apply at the level when they have forwarded the 9 names to the president. Okay? Sorry, sorry, Njiru. I might actually give him the floor. That is when the principle of consultation and concurrence will apply, because 2 names will be taken to President William Ruto for selection as the chair of IEBC. Now that is where then they must consult with us. And another, is it 9 names? Yeah, 9 names will be sent to him for selection of 6 as IBC commissioners. Again, we must be involved. Umesikia kwa mfano hapa, huyu mama aitwa Joy Medivo, kwa mfano. Yeye uhakika hawezi akiingia huyo kama mwenyekiti kwa mfano, huyo ni Ruto. Ruto kabisa. Hatuwezi. Jameni, one Chebukati was good enough at the time. We can't afford it. And the country cannot afford it. And the future generations are now saying, kipindi hiki, safari hii, ni Wakenya wajikomboe. Yes, sir.
So can you say the constitution of IEBC now hangs in limbo?
No. Yeah, that's a very quick conclusion. Yeah, mother told you, hatukai kitako. And yet we don't want to delay the process, because we're also aware William Ruto may want this thing prolonged mpaka ikimaliza 2026 waseme songesha uchaguzi to 2032. It will not happen. Thank you.
Asanteni sana. I think that is enough for today.
Not